Imagine opening your eyes 40,000 years ago. There is no house above you, no warm bed beneath your body, no clock, no kitchen, no medicine, no road, no walls, no phone, and no one coming to rescue you. The morning air is cold. Smoke from last night's fire is fading into the gray light. Around you, a small group of people begins to wake in silence. A child coughs. Someone checks the ashes, hoping a hidden ember is still alive. Another person studies the wet ground near the camp, where strange animal tracks have appeared during the night. You do not ask what you want for breakfast. You ask whether there will be food at all. You do not ask where you will sleep tonight. You ask whether the place you choose will keep you alive until morning. For ancient humans, daily life was not simple, peaceful, or primitive. It was a constant negotiation with hunger, cold, injury, weather, darkness, and predators. Every sound mattered. Every footprint mattered. Every broken branch could be a warning. Every small mistake could become fatal. And yet, these people survived. Before cities, before farms, before writing, before kings, temples, and civilizations, our ancestors learned how to read the world like a living map. They knew where water might be found. They knew which plants could feed them, which ones could poison them, and which stones could become tools. They knew that a dying fire could mean a dangerous night, and that a shared meal could keep a group together for one more day. Their world was brutal, but it was not meaningless. It was full of signals. Food was hidden in the soil, in rivers, in trees, in nests, in bones, and sometimes in the dangerous body of a wounded animal. Shelter was not guaranteed. Safety was never permanent. Survival depended not only on strength, but on memory, patience, cooperation, and attention. So, what did ancient humans really eat? Where did they sleep when the world was full of danger? And how did they survive each day without the things we now believe we cannot live without? To answer that, we have to step away from the modern world and enter a life where every sunrise was not just the beginning of a day. It was proof that the group had survived the night. Ancient humans did not live by a fixed menu. They did not wake up and choose between bread, fruit, meat, or soup. Their food was not waiting inside a kitchen. It had to be found, chased, dug up, cracked open, carried back, shared, and sometimes fought for. To understand their daily life, we must first forget the simple image of a man holding a spear and returning with a giant animal every evening. Hunting mattered, but it was never guaranteed. A large animal could feed a group for days, but catching one was dangerous, exhausting, and uncertain. A hunt could fail. A hunter could be injured. A wounded animal could turn and attack. A group could spend hours following tracks and still return with nothing. That is why ancient humans ate whatever the land allowed them to eat. In some places, they gathered berries, wild fruits, nuts, seeds, leaves, roots, and tubers. In other places, they caught fish, collected shellfish, searched for eggs, trapped small animals, or followed the movement of herds across open grasslands. Near rivers and coasts, water became a living pantry. In forests, food might be hidden under leaves, inside tree bark, or high in branches. In colder regions, fat and meat became precious sources of energy because the body needed fuel just to stay warm. Their diet changed with the seasons. One month, the group might follow migrating animals. Another month, they might return to a place where certain fruits ripened. After rain, edible plants could appear. During dry periods, water and food could vanish. Survival meant remembering not just where food was, but when it would appear. This knowledge was not written down. It lived inside the minds of the group. An elder might remember a valley where roots could be dug during hunger. A skilled tracker might read broken grass and know that animals had passed nearby. A child might learn by watching which berries adults picked and which ones they avoided. Every meal was the result of observation passed from one generation to the next. Tools changed everything. A sharp stone could cut meat from bone. A heavy stone could crack open bones to reach the rich marrow inside. Scrapers could clean hides. Simple blades could turn a dead animal into food, clothing, shelter, and equipment. Nothing was wasted, because wasting meant losing a chance to live. Then came fire. Fire softened food, made some plants safer to eat, helped cook meat, gave warmth, and created a center around which the group could gather. A meal beside fire was more than eating. It was safety, memory, teaching, and belonging. But food was only half the struggle. When the sun began to fall, another question became more urgent. Where could they sleep without being taken by the dark? When we hear the words ancient humans, many people immediately imagine caves. Dark stone walls, a fire burning in the center, shadows moving across the ceiling, and a small group hiding from the world outside. Sometimes, that image was true. Caves could be valuable shelters. They protected people from rain, wind, cold, and direct attack. A cave entrance could be watched. A fire could be kept near the opening. Children could sleep farther inside. Tools, bones, hides, and food remains could collect in one place. For a group living in a dangerous landscape, a good cave was not just a place to rest. It was a fortress made by nature. But ancient humans were not simply cave people. Many groups lived in places where caves did not exist. Others moved too often to depend on one shelter forever. They slept under rock overhangs, beside cliffs, near riverbanks, in forest clearings, on dry ground above flood zones, or in temporary shelters made from branches, leaves, grass, animal skins, wood, and bone. A place to sleep had to solve many problems at once. It had to be close enough to water, but not so close that dangerous animals came through the camp at night. It had to block wind, but not trap smoke. It had to be dry, but not too exposed. It had to give the group room to rest, but also enough visibility to notice danger. Choosing the wrong place could be deadly. A camp too close to water might attract predators. A camp in low ground might flood after rain. A camp in open land might be too cold. A camp hidden too deeply in thick forest might make it impossible to see what was approaching. Even sleeping was a decision full of risk. Night changed the world. During the day, ancient humans could see movement across the land. They could follow tracks, recognize plants, watch the sky, and stay alert. But after sunset, the advantage shifted. The eyes of predators were better suited to darkness. Sounds became larger. A cracking branch, a distant growl, or sudden silence among birds could make everyone freeze. That is why fire mattered so deeply. Fire was not a perfect wall, but it created a circle of light inside a world of darkness. Around it, people warmed their bodies, cooked food, repaired tools, comforted children, and listened. Someone might stay awake longer than the others. Someone might feed the flames. Someone might hear danger before it arrived. For us, sleep is rest. For them, sleep was trust. Trust in the fire. Trust in the group. Trust that someone would wake if the night began to move. A day in the life of ancient humans did not follow a clock. It followed light, hunger, weather, danger, and the needs of the group. Morning did not begin with comfort. It began with checking whether the group had made it through the night. Was the fire still alive? Were the children safe? Was anyone sick, injured, missing, or too weak to move? Were there new tracks near the camp? Had the weather changed? Did the wind carry the smell of rain, smoke, animals, or decay? Before anyone could think about food, they had to understand the condition of the world around them. Then, the day divided itself into tasks. Some people searched for food. Some gathered water. Some watched children. Some repaired tools, prepared hides, carried wood, cleaned bones, or looked for useful stones. Survival was not the work of one strong hunter standing alone against nature. It was the work of many hands doing different things at the same time. This is one of the most important truths about ancient life. The group was the real weapon. A single person could not easily track animals, gather plants, protect children, keep fire alive, watch for danger, carry water, and prepare shelter all at once. But a group could divide the burden. One person might know plants better than others. Another might be skilled at reading tracks. Another might remember where water could still be found during dry seasons. Another might know how to shape stone into a sharp edge. Every skill mattered. Even children were part of this world of learning. They watched adults closely. They learned which sounds meant danger, which plants were useful, how to stay near the group, how to carry small things, how to remain quiet when necessary, and how to recognize the difference between ordinary fear and real warning. A hunt, when it happened, was rarely a simple, heroic moment. It could take hours or days of tracking, waiting, and planning. Sometimes the group followed an animal until it weakened. Sometimes they used landscape, noise, fire, or cooperation to drive prey toward danger. Sometimes they failed completely. Failure was not unusual. It was part of life. By late afternoon, urgency returned. The group had to think ahead before darkness came. Food had to be shared, water had to be carried, firewood had to be gathered, tools had to be kept close, children had to be brought near adults. The sleeping place had to be checked again. As the sky darkened, survival became quieter. People listened more than they spoke. The fire cracked. The shadows grew longer. Beyond the light, the ancient world continued moving. And inside that small circle of warmth, human life held on for one more night. The greatest secret of ancient survival was not the spear. It was not the stone blade, the animal hide, the cave wall, or even the fire. It was the group. Ancient humans survived because they learned to live together in a world that punished loneliness. A person alone could be strong, fast, and brave, but strength could not stay awake every night. Speed could not heal an infected wound. Bravery could not feed a child while tracking an animal, carrying water, and guarding the camp at the same time. The group gave humans something no claw or tooth could easily defeat. It gave them shared eyes, shared memory, shared labor, and shared protection. One person could sleep while another listened. One person could search for food while another cared for the young. One person could fail to find anything, but still eat because someone else had succeeded. This was not weakness. This was the foundation of human survival. Their intelligence was not only in their brains, it was in their relationships. They taught each other where to find water, how to recognize safe plants, how to shape stone, how to follow tracks, how to read the sky, and how to avoid places where death waited quietly. A child born into the group did not inherit a written book, but inherited something just as powerful, the living memory of everyone around them. That memory was a map. It told them where animals moved when the seasons changed. It told them which valley held food after rain. It told them which caves were safe, which rivers flooded, which berries could be eaten, and which smells in the wind meant danger. This is why ancient humans should never be imagined as simple or foolish. They lived without modern technology, but they were not helpless. They were careful observers of the world. They understood patterns. They adapted. They made tools. They protected children. They cared for the injured. They carried knowledge across generations. Every ordinary day was built from thousands of small decisions. Where to step, what to touch, what to eat, when to move, when to hide, when to follow tracks, when to abandon a place, when to trust the fire, when to trust silence. And that is what makes their story so powerful. Before humans built cities, carved laws, raised temples, crossed oceans, or looked into the stars, they had to master something much more immediate. They had to survive today. Every meal was a victory. Every safe night was a miracle. Every child who lived became a bridge into the future. And after thousands upon thousands of dangerous mornings, cold nights, failed hunts, shared fires, and remembered paths, those ancient survivors gave the world something they could never have imagined. They gave the world us.